Doing chores while living in a van is almost a full-time job within itself. Sometimes it can feel like our entire days are filled with chores. We'll spend hours at the laundromat, run around filling our gas bottle and fuel tank, track down somewhere to have a shower, unpack our van for the day, only to repack our entire lives the next morning to head somewhere new. I can admit that sometimes van life feels liberating and exhilarating, and sometimes it feels cramped, uncertain, and pretty exhausting. We have had many experiences while living on the road that have been extremely humbling, all of which I am very grateful for. I've found that these sorts of encounters all lead to a more appreciative and powerful approach to life. This video wasn't going to be about our chores. It started in the Red Centre of Australia, where we had planned to be set up for a while. Basically, we didn't have enough food to keep us going, so we'll start here. We felt like going for a walk, so we stopped in here at Kings Canyon. It is a very beautiful landscape, and it's pretty crazy because when you're driving in, it looks like it's just desert, and then you come walk through the canyon here and there's lush palms and lots of trees. I think it must be because of all the rain that they've got over the last couple years. We haven't seen a single person on this walk. We were here a few weeks ago and did it at sunrise, and it was very busy, but yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I think a storm's coming. The air is so still and there are a lot of flies around this afternoon. There was a squeak in yours. The ear went
Something's responding. This place is pretty snaky. There's all these caves and stuff. And the spinifex grass is like the perfect ecosystem for snakes. How does it make you feel, Tia?
I want to see one. I don't want it to come near me though. I just want to see it.
Alright.
From afar.
Let's play a game. Spot the snake.
Okay.
We'll rustle a few bushes.
We didn't bring any water on that hike, so we are dying of thirst. Senna loves new toys, so we're gonna get her this cute little dingo. Do you want to see your dingo toy, Senna? Look, Senna. What's this? So you get a new toy. It was Jordan's job last week to go into the shops at Uluru. He came out with basically nothing, but by the time I realized we had already left. We're at this point now where we basically have no food. We managed to get a couple things at the shop in Kings Canyon, but they barely had anything in their fridges, and everything that was in there was crazy expensive as well. So we got a potato and onion. We did have some cauliflower, and I think that should do us for tonight. We had planned to be out of signal for a while longer, but it looks like we'll have to head straight to Alice Springs. This has been a really long and kind of boring drive as well, so we've just stopped here for a coffee before we continue on.
Just enjoying some combi coffee.
Our plan was to find a really nice free camp and cook our last few bits of remaining food on the fire in our cast iron pot, but we didn't really find a good one, and we noticed that the sun was starting to set, so we just pulled into this little free camp that we found on the side of the road. It is really busy here at the moment. There's lots of caravans, which sometimes isn't the worst thing, because I do find when there's other people around, I do just feel that much safer.
Along with the radio, the song that someone else wrote. I don't care. I just need you here.
I think if we found an overnight, like an overlander hike
I wish I could take your eyes
that allowed dogs, we could bring
show
them.
you all the things I
Jenna's having her dinner in the top bunk.
favorite Mexican bar. Open every big bright star.
We just went to the post office here in Alice and picked up a bunch of clothes. So we have a really big campaign shoot coming up, so the van is gonna get really full, but it's good to be in Alice Springs and be able to do a few chores. But now we're gonna head into Woolies, which is also very exciting for us because we haven't had basically any fresh food for the last couple months. There hasn't been any big grocery stores, just small IGAs and basically food from the fuel station.
Oh, how good is it having food?
I'm excited for all this.
And I'll have some.
We find it makes the most sense to do all our chores in one day if possible. We start with our washing as this takes the longest, and we'll do other tasks while waiting. Our gas generally needs a refill every few weeks depending on how much we're cooking and how many coffees we're brewing. Living in an old B-dub means we sometimes encounter situations where Stella needs our attention. At times these can be big problems and at times small, but we have spent many days in Bunnings car parks and behind mechanic shops. Once we finish all our chores, we try to get out of populated areas. Finding a nice place to sleep can be challenging sometimes. We use an app called WikiCamps for the most part, which usually has a few options on there. We found this spot 30 minutes north of Alice Springs and ended up staying out here for a few weeks. It felt safe and it gave us time to catch up on some life admin and work. We're lucky to have lots of sun out here, so we make the most of it and use our flexible solar panel to charge our gear daily. For us, wild camping doesn't get much better than this. Somewhere that has red dirt, wide open space, and where we can have nightly campfires. We decided just to bring our clothes out here and we're gonna put up a makeshift clothing line. We went to get a coffee while we were waiting for our laundry to finish, and when we came back to the combi, the car beside us had 2 of its windows smashed in, so we just figured we didn't really want to hang out in town any longer. The air out here is so dry and the sun is so strong, it'll probably be quicker than waiting at the laundromat anyway.
Never tried this before, but let's just see if it works.
Looks like it should stay up. Oh, geez. Today has been one of those days that feels like it's never ending. Feels like it's been like 3 days in one. But folding the clothes now, and we've decided that we're just gonna cook some dinner on the fire and have a little movie night. It can be pretty easy to believe that van life is sort of this dream lifestyle, but in reality, a lot of the days do look like this. It's sort of mundane chores that you have to do at home, but I feel like everything is just that much harder. You don't really have the conveniences of a washing machine, a dishwasher, and all those things that you have at home. And even on the days that aren't chore days, it just feels a bit difficult because you have to decide where you're going to sleep, where you're going to go. That can be pretty exhausting at times. I do love being on the road, but I think before starting van life, even my conception of it was a lot different to what it actually is. And I know that I do share a lot of dreamy content, but I think that's because I'm more passionate about photography and videography, and I just love to share the beauty of the world, and I do skip out on sharing day-to-day stuff that needs to be done, but it is all part of it. We're doing veggies on the fire 2.0 because if you saw last week's video, you might know that we did try to do this and it was delicious. The flavors were amazing, but the texture was pretty mushy, so I think we're going to try and do it in bigger chunks and try not to stir it at all. Just let it cook and see what happens.
You stormed out and took your bag so fast you left your coat. Remember the one you wore that night in Ontario? I still think about those days in the stillness of our